Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to Smirking Gun Reviews. This is Rob. Finally doing my Walking Dead video that I've been on the fence about making for ever since the whole story got leaked by, I don't know, where did it start? Comicbook.com, Collider, wherever the rumors of Andrew Lincoln leaving were started. And it just turned into this snowball effect, and everybody that's anybody, people that don't even give a flying fuck about The Walking Dead, we're talking about Andrew Lincoln leaving the show. What's it gonna do? Let's just completely let our brains explode and go overboard. And look, fine. You want to get views on all your videos, but I didn't want to be just another person out there talking about this until the damn facts came out, until the words came out of either AMC or Andrew Lincoln's mouth. And we had to wait till Comic-Con, so I wasn't going to wait until I actually heard the words, "I'm leaving the show after season 9." Or however they film it during season 9. And so I have my feelings about this, and I've told it, I've told my coworkers who have been asking me about this story, other people that I know asking me about this story, what am I going to do if Andrew Lincoln leaves and all this stuff. And with all the different aspects of things, and more things coming out and more ways to think about it, it's hard to say. But here's the thing. I started reading the comic right before, about a few months before the show came out. I'd never heard of it before, but somebody, I watched Breaking Bad, and so you were talking about this show, The Walking Dead. I don't know if he was even on Breaking Bad. It might have been like pre-Breaking Bad, but I heard it was a comic book. I heard it was a zombie comic book, and so I went and checked it out. That's when I got the first of these, like the big hardcovers, and I couldn't stop. I was immediately, I spent way more money than I wanted to because I couldn't, I couldn't get the single issues anymore. They were for cheap, so I had to get the hardcovers, and I plowed through so much in such a short period of time. And I was just blown away by the story of Rick Grimes and this survival horror story, and how his life going through it with his family and the losses along the way, and just absolutely entranced by this man's journey, and how everybody else kind of behaves around him. And so when the show came out, and I was just hooked, I was hooked right away. The first 6 episodes were great. They didn't completely follow the comic, but it didn't matter because Frank Darabont was at the reins, and it was good. And then season 2 came out, and the whole Shane Laurie love triangle thing was happening, and they were on that farm, and they were on that farm, and then they were on that farm the whole season, and the whole thing with looking for spoilers, by the way, uh, looking for Carol's kid. And then season 3 happens, and Andrea, first they kill Dale. And then the Lori Shane thing comes to a head, and they kill Shane in a way that, fine, they needed. I don't know why they needed a love triangle, but whatever. So they kill Shane, which I was fine with because he would have been dead already in the comic. Then we get to season 3, and we get Andrea becoming the most whatever. You see where I'm going with this is that I was ready to quit The Walking Dead show because it just I don't know what the hell was going on. The governor was, look, I knew they couldn't go comic booky, but eventually I'm going to move this along a little bit. I was not happy with the direction of the show, but it was never because of Andrew Lincoln. It was never because of Daryl, like Norman Reedus and everything. Like, it was weak sauce, man. I just could I don't even know how I got through it. And I was gonna quit watching. I was gonna just stick with the comic and stop watching the show. But like a lot of us who have said that, but about other shows or maybe this one too, I gave season 4 a chance, and holy cow, did season 4 just boom turn my opinion around. And up 4, 5, 6, 7, I was loving it all. Through the Negan bashing Glenn's head in, that caused some people to leave the show. I loved it. Season 7 was great. I thought it was, you have to go low to bring your characters back up. You can't just have them kicking everybody's ass all the time. But then season 8 came around, and they made the decision to kill Carl off. And it didn't make sense, and it still feels like there was more going on behind the scenes. And so Carl's dead, and you kind of remove, Rick's motivations to keep going. Because unlike the comic book that has Carl and Rick still surviving to this very day in the comic, it didn't seem like, I guess, what's Rick's motivation going forward? And I don't think we're getting the full story from AMC. I'm not the first one to think this. Is it just because of Andrew Lincoln's family, missing his family? Is it because how they treated Chandler Riggs? Is it a combination of the two? Because I respect the fact that if somebody wants to move on from it, it's fine. But this is Rick's story to me. From one of the very first panels of the comic to now, it's been Rick's story for me, and everybody else is just kind of, interesting in how Rick deals with those situations. Because everybody else's relationships to me ends up becoming something that has to concern Rick, as far as dealing with each person as a group to keep them together. And so, without him, for me, the book closes. That's his story. And I know other people have said how are you not going to give it a chance? But I've given this show a lot of chances. And season 8 to me was one of the worst seasons they've ever done. Not all of it, but it started going so far off the map as far as even I know it doesn't have to be 100% to the comic, but it seems to just keep going further and further away. And with the death of Carl, that went right off the fucking rails. And now with him leaving, with Andrew Lincoln leaving, to me, it's just too much. And while I would like to give season 9 a shot to see how they're going to pull off his exit, part of me just doesn't even want. I can't think of any scenario that they could do that would make me go, oh, that's cool. If they had figured out a way to keep Andrew Lincoln around till season 10, sometime in season 10, and then they decided to take him out of the show, I would have been fine with that, because it's just too soon for me. You lose Carl, then you just lose Rick. The circumstances surrounding the whole thing just seems weird. Andrew Lincoln deciding to leave for, so it's his decision, but all the questions, again, about why, how much do we really know? How much is it even any of our business? But it just leaves a raw taste in my mouth, and I feel with the direction that the show has been going in, and Scott Gimbel's leaving, great, fine. Angela Kang, not really a fan of what she's done on the show. So people can't just say, well, why you haven't given her a chance, like she hasn't, but she's done stuff for the show. She has. And I personally don't care for it. But that's, I could be wrong. I mean, that trailer looks great, but you know what? A lot of trailers look great. This trailer had to be great. Do you know how many people probably were working on that trailer to make sure it's fucking amazing? Because of how upset everybody is. They had to make you all forget about the story going on. The reasons that people were talking about leaving. They had to make something that would make you stop talking for a second and just watch the trailer and go, oh, and forget your feelings for a minute and just go, oh yeah, this, I like this. Trailers don't reflect, especially AMC trailers. They are really great at showing and not telling. Like everything is out of context. Very well done. If you ever watch a Mad Men trailer, like a next on Mad Men, you can't figure out what the hell is going on that episode. And you have to watch the show. And it's the same thing with The Walking Dead. They show you quick things and you'll get like pushes and this and that, but you don't know the context of any of it. So while that trailer could be great, the season could fucking suck. Now I'm not trying to just bash season 9 already without having seen a single episode. Because it could be amazing. But for me, without Rick, you take Rick out of this, and you have Michonne, Negan, Daryl, Carol, Maggie, who's also leaving. Who else do you got? And you have the whisperers breathing down your neck. Oh, Ezekiel, King Ezekiel. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear what happens next, stop watching for about 30 seconds or so. Okay? Spoiler alert. King Ezekiel in the comic gets his fucking head cut off by Alpha and stuck on a spike. Okay, so maybe they'll bait and switch that. Maybe they'll give that death to somebody else. Maybe they like Ezekiel so much and losing Rick and everything, they don't want to get rid of all the leaders. But when you really think about it, like, Danai Gurira is great. But she's getting bigger as a star. I mean, freaking Black Panther, Infinity War, Avengers 4, Black Panther 2. How much longer does she even need this show? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's going to take a while for them to make Negan a hero. Norman Reedus. I love Norman Reedus. I love his character Daryl. And if a couple of seasons ago you would have killed Daryl, I'd have been just like everybody else. We killed Daryl, we riot. But they haven't done hardly anything with him of real character stuff. And he's just, I don't know. He's not ready, and they've even said, I think, he's not ready to take the leading man role or whatever. Carol, who I would watch, a Carol spinoff show, man. I wish Carol would just leave this show and go to Fear the Walking Dead with Morgan. So it's just, and I don't want to be one of those just simple reactionary people that are just like, I'm just going to leave the show, man, fuck it. I've put some thought into this. And while I'm not 100% sure that I'm not going to watch like the premiere, just out of morbid curiosity, with no Andrew Lincoln, the book is closed for me. The Walking Dead show is closed for me. I have no interest going forward in the character stories of what's going on next. Because it's just, none of them have you can't make it Negan's show. Because, you lose too many people that way, because some people just hate Negan. There is no, love-hate relationship with this. So, I have the comic book. I will always have the comic book to read. It has never disappointed me. Maybe an issue here is slow, but usually it's pretty goddamn great. And I still have Rick, and I still have Carl, and we're way in the future, so I don't have to think about the whisperers anymore and all that stuff. And maybe someday I'll come back to the show when it's over or near over, and I'll binge watch the hell out of it just to see maybe if I was wrong. But as of right now, Rick leaves, I leave. And it's got nothing to do with, just some anger. It's just, to me, that there's no, the chapter, the book is closed. Rick is gone. I'm gone. He was the reason I stuck around all this time for the most part anyway. And although I do, like I said, I care about these actors and characters, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And with the way that the storylines and stuff are just all over the place as far as the comic goes. And I'm one of those people who I like seeing what's on the page put to the screen. I don't need to be shocked and, have my expectations, subverted. I like surprises, but I don't know. You have the perfect map right in these books of how to make the show. And I know that they think by changing things, they're pleasing us fans of the book. Because we're in the minority. We're in the minority of the people who read the book. So you're surprising this many people when this many people don't read the goddamn book. Do the math. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents on this subject. I really hate feeling like this. And who knows, maybe come October I'll have changed my mind a little bit. Maybe they'll have come up with some story, like reasons for me to check it out. But I wasn't that interested in the trailer, to be honest with you. And it's not just because of the news. It's just, the influence of that, knowing, okay, where, I'm just going to be, watching an episode of Sopranos, where you're just waiting for somebody to get whacked. You've removed all the tension. Now you're just waiting for the funeral. You're waiting. I'm watching the car, I'm on the highway and there's a car crash and I'm just slowly watching it go by. I can't help but look. And that's just it. So, anyway, this isn't one of those where you hit the like button. Yeah, if you want to hit the like button, you can hit the like button. But, yeah, that's my 2 cents, and I really hate saying that. But, yeah, Rick's gone. I'm gone. I don't know what I'm going to do with all my posters. Maybe keep them for nostalgia reasons. Maybe get some comic book versions. I don't know. But maybe I'll give them to my nephew. He loves the show still. So anyway, this is Rob for Smirking at Reviews saying thanks for watching this, anybody that does. I don't expect to get a lot of views on this. But yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Hopefully it'll be less controversial. I guess I shouldn't say that it's controversial. But this is just another dude bitching about The Walking Dead. We'll see you on the next video. I am doing a Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul thing. And that'll probably be tomorrow. And then Man in the High Castle possibly tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Probably not tonight. But we'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.